Omnia Premium Pro gives you the confidence to eliminate dead water on thousands of lakes across the U.S. Exclusively on the Omnia app, use 10 unique data layers containing critical real-time mapping information to see water temperature, water clarity, contours, lake bed hardness, and important weather data all in one place. Matched with Omnia's loyalty credit program on all your tackle and gear needs, this is the only app you need in your arsenal for success on the water. Plenty of sunshine.
Come on, man, let's roll. What the?
To catch the fish, you need to be one with the fish.
With Power Pole shallow water anchors, you'll get the ultimate in precision, power, and control, so you can catch more fish. No face paint or phony fins necessary.
They assemble at night, each one having prepared as diligently as possible to the time given to them before the witching hour, the hour of reckoning, the time when they begin outdoor cartoon television. Stray Cats is on the air.
Good evening, glory, hallelujah to you. What the heck's your story and what's going through you? This is the glorified version of a Bassin' talk show. I'm your host, Pat Renwick. Give it up for yourself, Bass Galaxy. It's another Wednesday night of Bassin' fun. That's right. Like a good time, Charlie. Speaking of good time, Charlie, my co-host over there, Ryan.
Pop Cornelius Whitaker. That's your phone.
Is that?
Hey.
All
right. There we go.
What's up?
Gingy took care of that right there. Ryan's here. Hey, folks, tonight is a deal that we've been in the works with for a while. And that is an all Chicago Bassin' show. That's right. Everybody's like, hey, how's Chicago? Hey, Ryan, you got him started. I see. But I mean, Chicago has come a long way as far as its bass fishing prowess. Especially, what's it been? 26 years since the 25 years since the Bassmaster Classic here in 2000. And the bass fishing has improved tenfold. But we're going to go through some bass fishing history. And who better to bring us some bass in Chicago history than the one and only 2000 Bassmaster Classic champion, Mr. Woo Daves. Yes, sir. Legend and icon of the sport, Woo Daves joins us for the first time. Yeah, on this show. I'm stoked. I'm excited about this deal. And then Bassmaster or Bass Fishing Hall of Fame recent member and longtime icon on Bassmaster, the one and only Craig Lamb, comes on the show tonight for the first time as well. And then Ryan, you tell them who else is coming on here tonight.
We got the Christys.
We got a duo. That's right, the Christys.
South Shore Bass Open winners from this year, Scott Christy and Tyler Christy.
Local champions. That's right.
Yes.
It's an all kind of my kind of town Chicago show.
Uh-huh.
Heck yeah. I mean, that's what the deal is right there.
And the Italian beer.
And Ryan, you, of course, are Mr. Chicago right now.
Yes.
I mean, I think of Chicago bass fishing history. I'm being serious.
I mean, right now in this room.
In this room right now, you are
That's
Mr.
all.
Chicago.
Yeah.
That's what your shirt says. And the Cubs are in the playoffs, so congratulations. But,
Yes.
I mean, let's think real quick about this. Let's set the scene here. Let's go back A guy way back, Mr. Ed Bones, kind of introduced us all to Bassin in Chicago. And then we get guys,
George Little Jr. George Little Sr.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Bassin icons there. And then you kind of pass the torch to guys like Jeff Miller and Brian Jackson, as far as the local scene.
Mike Myers.
Yeah. And all that attention about the fishing here on Lake Michigan got the attention of Bassmaster. And in 2000, the Classic came here.
Happened fast.
It did. Boom.
So fast.
Pooh. And Woo and Craig are going to tell us all about that. But I'm excited to learn more about Chicago Bass. And hey, don't forget, this is the place where you can win party favors. This live broadcast right here. Tonight we have, 1, 2, 3 like and share contests. It's a tin cup box of fun. It's a Chicago prize pack from South Shore Bass Open. It's an entry into next year's deal plus a swag bag. Yeah.
Full entry,
man.
That's like a $450 entry.
Pretty cool. Full frontal entry.
Really full.
And also the Woo is giving away a prize tonight. The Woo prize. Like and share the live Facebook feed. Rock and Shoal Fantasy, who is working the chat board and back tonight, will get your name in the randomizer, and you just might win. Also, Tambien, don't forget, besides liking and sharing the live Facebook feed to win stuff, also get your questions in for Woo, for Craig, for the Christies, and we'll ask them. We'll get them into Rock and Shoal Fantasy on the chat board, and we'll ask some questions. Hey, let's get it going, Ginge. Do we got any gypsies in the mist? Is there any? Oh, wait, ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Ellenberger, producer extraordinaire.
There's got to be a gypsy.
Yeah. Thank you, Andy. Hey, are you drinking that Wisconsin one? I think they need a tin cup brandy is what you need for the Wisconsin viewers.
They make their old fashions with brandy up there, that's for sure.
I know. I seen Pat Schlapper, a bunch of celebratories on the Schlapper episode. Now they're using your tin cup and following you, Gypsy.
Well, I appreciate that.
I think that's the right way.
Hey, are you excited about this Woo Dave's show here, Gyps?
I am, and can I tell you why?
Yeah, please do.
So back in the late 80s, early 90s, we only got Bassmaster magazine, and you only could watch Bassmasters on TNN. There was no social media, nobody TikToking or whatever. So if you wanted to see your favorite pro, you had to go to an outdoor show to see him.
Yeah.
And so I went to Galleons to see all the pros, and the Hibdons were there and all that. And the first one I walked up to was Woo Dave's. And I was so nervous. I had a Sharpie in my pocket, and I gave him my hat to sign, and then he stuck out his hand. And like I said, I was 12 years old. I was nervous. And he asked me, I was digging for a pen frantically so he could sign my hat. He goes, I don't need a pen. I need your hand. I want a handshake. And I said, oh, I got a hand. Yeah, I got a hand right here. And I shook his hand. And Woo was my first professional fisherman that ever signed a hat for me. So thank you, Woo.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the classic that he won, in 2000 was the classic that I met John Curry going out the exhibit door that founded Crown Royal that put me on the team a few months later. So this is a special episode for me. So I thank you,
awesome.
Pat.
Yay. It's our pleasure. And I'll be honest with you. I was like, Ryan, who do we get on for the Chicago special? And he's like, how about Woo? And I'm like, I'm on it, brother. And so thank Ryan as well. In that's really cool that kind of evolved. That 2000 Classic put you to where you are today as the Whiskey Gypsy in essence.
That's really awesome.
For Tin Cup. It's really cool. I love hearing that. I love hearing it. And for those that don't know, this is Luke Foley. He's the Whiskey Gypsy. And every Wednesday night here on Straycast, he brings you the official Tin Cup whiskey word of the week. And whenever you hear this certain word, you take a little sippy of whatever it may be, a little Tin Cup mountain whiskey, a little cafe con leche, and ice cold Coca-Cola. But when you sip, please sip responsibly. And tonight, Foley, what is our word?
Woo.
Woo! It's gotta be okay. If you hear the word woo, you take a little sippy. And again, please sip responsibly. Foley will call you off work tomorrow if you need to be. Yeah.
I'm like Ric Flair up in here tonight.
I love it.
Yeah.
We'll get well, that's amazing. Good choice. Hey, let's juggle around, Foley, and let's pay a few bills here. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
I got some Jackson today.
Oh, look at you. Yeah, that's a hell of a vibe bait right
Look
there.
at there.
Look at that. But I got something even newer from Berkeley. Look at this. Ryan has, if you could hold that up to your cam, Ryan has, look at that buzz bait right there. A traditional type head knocker type buzz bait.
You hear that knocking?
We've all seen them like on the Booger Man types. You know what I mean? Berkeley's got that. Hold that up to the cam, can you, Ryan?
Yeah.
Look at that deal right there. And that's the skirted 3/8 head knocker.
I mean, a bait keeper of all bait keepers, too.
Oh.
4 ridges and a pin.
That's going to keep it. Keep
That thing
it
ain't
glued.
going anywhere.
The riveter buzz. Now, you probably have seen the Flux Gill. This is the new deal from Berkeley right here. If you want to see something really cool, go on Berkeley Instagram or Mercer's YouTube, and he did some underwater stuff of this that is really cool. But what I have here, and I've been throwing the gilly on the back of a buzzbait for a couple years now, but now this is the small size Flux Gill, and this is the Berkeley Finesse Buzz Toad deal here, right here. Dan Spangler knocked it out of the park with this deal.
You know what that looks like to me?
What?
Problem solved.
Problem solved. It really does. It's got
It really
that little
does.
deal here for skipping. It's got the grommet so you can use braid. The sound of it is amazing with the rivet made on the top. And again, keepers extraordinaire. I'm taking this deal right here, this new Flux Gill, threading it on this little toad buzzler right here.
This might be our first live rig.
Right, live rigging right now on Stray Cats. And look at that deal. Of course, you can push it up higher on that, but that's a skipping machine right there. That is going under the dock.
Yes.
All the way back right there. Thank you, Dan Spangler and Berkeley, for coming out with it's a void. It was a void in the line. We needed a buzz bait, and thank you. Thank you for that. Moving right along. Hey, it is fall season, and this is time for the fall Sims collection vest season. And let me show you right here, the fall line. Look at this beautiful gold, Foley. You see this right here? It reminds you of fall. And then you see this black one right here, and I think it's available in stone as well. But it is the Fall Run Sims vest. It's vest season. You know that, Bass Galaxy. You do know that. Right there, right? Foley, you look good in the vest. I saw you.
I do look good in
I
this.
saw you at church in the vest. You look good. You look dang good.
I like mine with shoulder pads.
Popcorn, tell them about Omnia.
What do you want to know about Omnia?
I want to know how I can find out about different lakes across the country.
Premium
and
Pro.
how they're catching fish
Thought you'd
everywhere
never
in the
ask.
continental Bass Galaxy.
I thought you'd never ask. Premium Pro. Check it out. It's got everything. It's got detailed lake maps anywhere you go, and also or lake specific shopping as well. Click on it. It'll tell you what's hot there. It's got everything and more than I can even think of right now. Every time I get in there, my ADD goes crazy. But if you're going to a new lake, it is the thing to do.
I've seen you short
Premium
circuit.
Pro.
Yes.
Don't short circuit.
And my favorite thing about it is just kind of like, even though I may never fish some of these lakes, I just look at them anyway because it's cool to do. You
Because
know what I mean?
maybe someone will drop you
Someday.
out of a helicopter at some point and you end up on that lake.
You just never know. You just never know. Check out the Omnia Premium Pro app right there.
Yes, sir.
And also, Ryan, becoming Chicagoland's #1 source for printing. Yes, of t-shirts,
Anything.
stickers, jerseys, whatever you have.
Hats.
Yes.
Shoot, you got blank shoes you want.
Patches O'Hallahan.
Embroidering.
Yes, all that.
Mad Science Print Lab. They will literally print on anything. Send it to them. If you got a small business, big business, whatever you need printing for, they got you covered. You focus on your business, they'll focus on your merch.
Boom, nice job, bro.
That was smooth, right?
That was really good.
Yeah, I didn't stutter.
You sound like a
more than
radio
twice.
guy from Chicago. It was really good. Hey, again, 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 like and share chances tonight. Like and share the live Facebook feed. You have a chance to win a Woo Dave's prize. Woo's gonna send you something from his personal collection. It's a Woo Dave's prize. Also, the Chicago prize, which is an entrance to next year's premier tournament on the South Shores of Lake Michigan, Chicago South Shore Bassin entry fee, paid.
$450 entry fee.
Yeah, plus a swag bag right
Yes.
there. And of course, the Tin Cup Whiskey box of fun to your door. Like and share the live Facebook feed. This is the place for fun. Woo Dave's, Craig Lamb, and the Christies, my kind of town. Chicago special coming up. Put the power poles down. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back, Bass Galaxy. Foley, you're awesome. We love you. Peace.
See you guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, Luke.
Awesome about
Realize your boat's potential with outboard performance accessories that improve the handling, speed, and economy of your boat. Find your perfect accessory from Bob's Machine.
Welcome back, Bass Galaxy. It's time for the Bassmasters with the one and only bass fishing icon, Bassmaster icon, Bass Galaxy legend, the one and only. Let's bring it in, Bass Galaxy. Give it up for Woo Daves. Come on. Yes. There's Mr. Daves right there. Hey, Woo.
How's it going? Can you hear me?
How are you going? I can hear you loud and clear, and I recognize that voice anywhere. How you doing, Woo?
Well, I appreciate all the accolades you gave me.
Man, I mean, I'm going to be real about this. You are a very important member of bass fishing history here in the Chicagoland area. When we think of tournament bassin', we think of Woo Daves in the classic that you won right here in our town, Woo. So I mean, you're an important deal to us, buddy.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. That's an important place to me too.
Yes, sir.
Do you ever come back to Chicago?
Yeah, I did a few shows out there after the classic.
Okay.
Okay.
Places.
No kidding. You did actual fishing shows on Lake Michigan down here?
No, just
fishing shows.
Sports shows.
You know, sports.
Like
shows
Foley
and
was
stuff.
talking about.
Right.
Did you see at the beginning of the show, one of our fine advertisers, Tin Cup Whiskey, Luke Foley, was on. He told us about his encounter with you. Did you hear that?
Yes, sir. I heard it.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And
I mean, that's the
one thing
magic.
I've always tried to give time to the kids.
And you shaped things. You shaped things for that individual right there. And I'm sure there are many more stories of lives that you have touched, Mr. Daves. Let's think about this. Ryan and I were talking. I know Ryan has a bunch of your stats, but 314 BASS tournaments. Wow. And you're still going. I mean, you're still going, Woo. You're still fishing the opens. That's,
yeah, I'm gonna fish a couple this year.
yeah.
Hopefully, I fished I think a total of 18 tournaments this year.
Wow.
Local, mostly around Maryland, Virginia, and North Carolina. We have a couple of really good trails here, and the Elite 70 is a team tournament, which I get to fish with my son, so that's great.
Awesome.
And the other one's called the Alpha Series, and we fish by ourselves in that one. And we've actually got that classic this weekend. We practice tomorrow and fish Friday and Saturday on the river.
Okay.
And then in 2 weeks, we go to Smith Mountain for the team classic.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
Okay.
there's only like 77 people in these tournaments, but they've got a waiting list of 200 or 300. But they don't want to be too big, you know.
Okay.
The pay's good, and everybody gets along great. And a lot of good fishermen, and there's probably 8 or 10 bass winners, elites winners, classic, probably 8 classic. People like Jacob Prodnick.
Oh, cool.
Fishes, and he actually fishes with a boat. He doesn't live but about 5 minutes from me.
Yeah, Jacob, he's a fierce competitor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was hanging out with him and Corey Johnston this year, and somehow a giant lump got on Jacob's head. And I don't know how it happened, Woo, but it happened.
Well, we won't comment on that, but
they were at Top Golf. I think a golf ball came back.
I've got a lot of ideas. I actually kind of started him fishing when he was 10 years old. He went to Baltimore Classic, and he went to the Lake Logan Martin Classic with me to practice, because back then somebody could practice with you if they'd never been on the water.
Okay.
And I took him to both of those, and one of them was fun, and then my buddy went to bed, I don't know, about 10 o'clock. We went to bed. He went to sleep and got snoring. So we got up and changed the clock. And went over there and shook him, said, "Come on, we gotta go at 6 o'clock." He looked at the clock. He had been asleep for 30 minutes probably. He gets up, goes in the bathroom, starts washing his face and everything. While he's in there, we get back in the bed and pull the covers up like and when he comes out of the bathroom, we're asleep.
That's a pretty good trick. I never tried that.
I see Jacob a lot. I'm gonna ask him about that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, we turkey hunt together, deer hunt together, and it's pretty rabbit hunt. He rabbit hunts with me a couple of times.
He's a solid individual. 100% he is.
Yeah,
he is.
He's an outdoor man from the word go.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves being out there.
I got to give a sports update since it's a Chicago show. Cubs won.
Cubs won. Okay, there you go. There you go. Excellent.
Live to play another day. All right. Sorry.
Have you ever had Mark Mendez on?
Oh, yeah. Mark's awesome, and I see Mark all the time.
Well, next time you have him on, ask him if he ever got mooned in New York.
Okay. I'm writing it down, Woo. I'm writing it down.
He'll tell you the story.
Okay, I'm writing it down.
I tell you, it'd be a lot funnier if that was just a made-up thing that you got to make him ask him. No, I never got mooned in New York.
Woo,
just curious.
You've been at this deal a while. I see your first BASS tournament, 1973 on Pickwick. Does that sound right to you?
Yes, sir.
Wow. I mean, that's crazy. Thinking back, and I got to tell you, when I think of Woo Daves, and chime in, Bass Galaxy, Ryan, of course. So, first off, you are synonymous with the brand Zoom, which is an amazing testimony to the power of an individual angler in a brand. When I think of Woo Daves, I think of the brand Zoom. I do.
Same here.
I mean, I think of you skipping a Zebco. I think of the Zebco spin cast. I do think
I'm the only one that ever won a tournament on a push button Zebco reel that I know of.
Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. I think of you as a Class X skipper, of course. And I also think of you as Mr. Illinois. He won on the river, Alton, Illinois, as well as on the big lake in Chicago. So you are Mr. Illinois to us.
And that was what was funny. That was probably 2 tournaments I didn't think I was going to catch a fish in after practice. I told
That's
my
how it
wife,
usually works, isn't it?
I told my wife at the Classic, I said, if I come in tomorrow with a bag over my head, you know what that'll mean. I didn't catch anything. And it was a weird deal, but it worked out.
It sure did work out, didn't it? It sure did.
Sir.
And you know, again, that was just a very interesting coming to being, the whole Chicago Classic. You know, okay, I'm getting the text. We're doing it. The Chicago Classic was a bizarre animal. And correct me if I'm wrong, Woo, because predominantly every event had been in the South. No, I know there'd been some Minnesota events, correct?
Yep.
But I mean, most of the stuff had all been in the South. And now you have the biggest event in bass fishing coming to Chicago.
Yeah, most of the classics up to that time were all in it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't put everyone.
It was exciting too, getting to weigh in and go through the Bears locker room.
Soldier Field.
The old locker room and the new locker room. You know, they took us through there, and then coming out into the field, and a lot of people say, "Well, there wasn't that many people there," but they got to realize that's the first time they've been on the place to see 80,000-90,000 probably.
Wow.
Right.
And it was over a third full, so there were, I think, 25,000 to 30,000 people came in there, and it didn't look like a big, but you know, when you go into these regular places that they have a lot of the classics, they can only get so many people in the buildings. A lot of people have to stand outside and everything.
The same thing happened when they did it in Houston too. When they did it at the whatever, the Astro Stadium.
Astrodome.
Is it the Astrodome?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That was only a quarter, not even a quarter full, whatever. But it was, you know, if you're in a smaller arena, it's easier to pack. Soldier Field was huge then. That was the old Soldier Field.
Well, don't forget it started in a parking lot too, right? So I mean, it's come a long way. I think we have a guest. I think we have our first. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only. Is he here? Is he there, Ginge? He is. It's Craig Lamb, Bass Fishing Hall of Fame member. Yes, 2 Bass Fishing Hall of Fame members in the room now. Awesome. Craig, welcome to Straight Cast and congratulations. What an
really
amazing.
Appreciate it. Yeah. My I'm going to say one of my first remembrances of Woo. I've known him, God, since I started. But when we had the classics in Richmond in 88, 89, and 90, Woo almost won them all, you know, really. But he used to come into the arena. Was it Eli Gold tobacco? Woo?
Do what
you
now?
Would throw, you would like pitch the tobacco all into the audience. You know, you would like work them up. Woo would work him. Woo was a favorite. And so when his boat got towed into the arena, he had samples of the tobacco, which, you know, where we are in Richmond, Virginia, everybody chews tobacco, and he would pitch it out. And we had to literally, when I was assistant tournament director at that point, we had to cut it off because, you know, people were leaning over the rails, and we had to cut that off. You remember that, Rube?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Causing havoc.
Oh, yeah, it was crazy.
It's great. It's great.
I remember over at the Richmond show, and I think it was Dewey, come over there. We were signing autographs out at that little lake they had. Well, I had about 75 people still in line waiting on an autograph. And he come over and said, we got to go. And I said, man, I can't leave these people sitting here. I said, I'll be over there as soon as I get there. Or you can either come with us or you going to walk back to Richmond. And about 5 people told him, said, don't worry about Woody. We'll get him back to Richmond.
That's awesome.
You know, I learned my idol, my all-time sports idol was probably Richard Petty.
Nice.
And I went to my first race I went to at South Boston. They used to race there. That's a small 3/8 mile track. Well, after the race, they'd let you go down to the pit. So he came by the gate there and was signing autographs. And you had to get in line, and we were about 50th in line. They turned the lights out. I mean, it was pitch dark. And a guy comes back there with a flashlight and says, don't go nowhere, stay in line. He'll sign for you. And sure enough, everybody else is left, but people in that line, all the drivers are left with their coaches and everything. All the fans were gone that didn't come down there. And he stayed right there and signed autographs till every person went through that line. And that was something that I tried to do my whole career, you know, because that is what makes your job. The fans, they're the ones. We wouldn't be fishing if we didn't have fans. And
that's awesome.
I think when you spend time with them, it means so much, especially to a younger kid or something. You know, I'll be talking to somebody, and this has happened 200 times probably. I mean, I worked 159 shows a year after I won the Classic. All over the country, Canada, went to Spain. And a kid will come over there and he's nervous and he doesn't want to ask you. He's scared you're talking to somebody, and I'll never take my eye off of him. And a lot of times I'll say, come on, you know, and I'll sign it. But if he turns to walk away, I'm going to get him right then. I said, you come back over here, we're going to get you straightened out, son. And I'll get my hat or something, you know, just because I don't want to ever have a fan mad at me.
Well, that's awesome,
You know.
Woo. And again, that's what makes proper bass. And I know, Craig, you had an experience. I remember that I read you wrote a letter to Clun to Rick Clun when you were like 15, and didn't he write you like a 2-page letter or something back?
Yeah, it was amazing. I wrote him a letter. I had no idea that he was going to write me back. I was kind of like Woo, and he did, and that's what got me started. You know, I got to go with Rick to the tournaments in the summer with his family, and one thing led to another, and I worked for Ranger, and you know, Woo was with Ranger and for a number of years, and then other things happened. But yeah, it's all about dreams coming true.
You said flipping Arkansas made you a man, Craig Lamb.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. We will appreciate this, guy. Where were we? Probably Ohio River, one of those opens. You might remember that. I'd really never backed a boat up before, and I had to back Forrest Wood's boat down the ramp with a Lincoln Continental. He won a open in 1979, and he and his wife matching Lincoln Continentals, and so that's how I started taking his boat to the tournaments.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dreams come true. For sure.
The nice thing about Craig, he always smiles. You know,
and you're right, Woo.
I remember when I first met him, he looked like he was 10 years old, 12. Yeah. I've known him a long, long time, and he's never done anything but be gracious to everybody.
Every day on the Bassmaster Tour, one of the first people I always seem to run into every morning is Craig Lamb, and he's always smiling, and that just makes me smile. So the day starts wonderfully. That's what I can say, Craig. Yeah, here's something that a lot of people don't know about Craig, and I know you know this, of course, Woo, but you were instrumental in starting the Mega Bass Hole Course as well, weren't you, Craig? One of our favorite events ever, made for TV.
Yeah,
the Mega Bass Course. That's pretty cool. Where is that, Craig? Why can we not do it anymore?
Yeah, kind of the whole start about it was we wanted to do like a Harold Sharp, the first tournament director, came with this idea that we would do a hole course, kind of like a golf course, and it would be created for a fan event, and so everybody would be able to see it from the shoreline, but really it was for TV. And that's really what started the show on TNN, the national network. They would rotate from one hole to the next every 50 minutes. And it was it went on for a number of years.
It was awesome. I mean, we loved it. I think it would be another spectacle. We could fit that in. Yeah, we could fit that in. Hey, Craig, I gotta move. I know that you got to catch an Uber at 7:45. You're going to the soiree. You're going to some. Now that you're a Bass Fishing Hall of Fame member, it's like they're sending Ubers and limos for the guy. He's traveling the whole continental Bass Galaxy, but you deserve it, Craig. So the deal is the 2000 Bassmaster Classic. You were there for the decision making of this whole process, or part of the decision making. Why did Bass pick Chicago, and what brought that along?
Yeah, what made Chi-Town so special was, Woo knows this, because in the late 80s, when we had those Richmond Classics, so what, 88 to 90, and then we had 91 in Baltimore, we were really trying to take bass outside of the South. No brainer there. And so, yeah, it did go back to Alabama and North Carolina, but really what was intriguing was to bring it to a big city. And so everything, the stars and the moon lined up, and there we were. And so that, we had it was incredible for me to have the weigh-in at Soldier Field. And, I was interim communications manager. At the same time, I was really starting the website, the Bassmaster.com website. But so I ran the communications department, the press room, if you will. And it was unreal to see it, after I've been to so many classics, I went back to like 79 or 80, to see the weigh-in there. And my greatest memory was, I think the last day, I literally went up to the top. I mean, the whole place was open. Soldier Field was open. So I literally, like, my God, I'm in the press. I am going to go to the press box. And so I literally went up there, and there was nobody in that press box at Soldier Field. Yeah. Oh, my God. So I'm sitting there, and I'm a kid, I'm a kid from the 70s. So I had the football cards and stuff like that. I'm looking down there and seeing like this weigh-in about to start. And I'm thinking about who in this press box, Ben Scully or whoever it was calling this game, Dick Butkus and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, it was amazing. You know what I mean? And and there's a weigh-in, and Woo wins the classic. But that's probably really one of my all-time greatest classic memories. I've been to 45, but I mean, literally go up there. There was nobody in there. It was like
that's
crazy.
Awesome.
The chairs were still in there, and it was like surreal.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
My daughter works at Soldier Field, and I've got the tour of the place, and it is surreal to see that, and especially in your case, in a bass fishing sense. Wow. I mean, wow.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
But why Chicago and not Detroit
or Minnesota
or some of these other places that were really proven fisheries? Because I mean, coming from here, I talked to the older guys that I started fishing here around 2003. But bass fishing really, I talked to a lot of people today that kind of got the whole smallmouth fishing thing started here. And everyone I talked to said it really started around like mid-96, 97. And they started having tournaments on Lake Michigan around 97, 98. Yeah. So that's,
you guys
got
only
here
a
couple years
Craig,
after it ever even started. And now Lake St. Clair and other places in the north are big cities, but why Chicago?
But I think what it goes down to, and I've read a great book. It's on my bookshelf. The Life and the Death of the Great Lakes.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really about what the recovery of Lake Michigan, the entire ecosystem there. You know, I mean, you guys, you know, we weren't there perfectly the right time, but that had a lot to do with it because bass is really kind of on conservation. But I mean, God, you guys can go out there and catch 4 and 5 pound smallmouth out there. You know, we couldn't do that. You almost could, but I really think it's just it was a really comeback tribute to what happened to the Great Lakes, and especially Lake Michigan, really.
And it was the big bounce back.
Nice. And you got that was
absolutely. It's incredible.
Now,
I mean, God, where it came from. When you read the history of it, you know, when the river was on fire. I mean, not the Chicago River, the Calumet, and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, when you read about how bad it was in the 70s and how it came back, and you know, bass had a really big part to play in the Clean Water Act with Ray Scott, you know, going to Washington and doing all the lobbying. So really, it was a tribute to its comeback to me.
Oh wow,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's great. This is worth doing the show right now.
Yeah,
I never a really special place. It's really incredible. I mean, we got to look where it was. You know.
Yeah, it was. I mean, literally, you could walk on the water. It's so thick.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I've always heard the tale that Lake Erie started on fire and the Chicago River started on fire and all that stuff.
The whole thing and the canal and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, gosh, everything like the Michigan DNR and all the DNRs work together. So it's pretty amazing what happened.
Yeah.
And it's
go ahead. One of the most historic ever.
Yeah, and it's just getting cleaner and cleaner too. I mean, I did a guided fishing trip on the Chicago River on Monday. With some kid, and we caught 50, 60 fish.
That's awesome.
So I mean,
testimony right there.
It's coming around.
Yeah.
I mean, and cool that, you know, Bass was keen on that change, on that metamorphosis at that time of this Great Lake. And again, that decision of Bass to bring the tournament to Lake Michigan changed Mr. Woo Dave's life. I mean, plain and simple, shaped it.
Yeah, I mean, we had a really good partnership with the DNR. We had a really strong conservation movement. I mean, y'all know that, but I mean that's really what brought us up there.
That's amazing. Hey, Craig, I know you gotta catch your limo at 7:45 here, and again, we just want to say thank you so much for chiming in here tonight. It's been an honor to have you on the show. It's an honor to call you a friend, and congratulations again on your induction to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. Bass Galaxy, that's the one and only Mr. Craig Lamb.
Right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Craig.
We'd love to come back again. See you guys.
We'd love to have you, and we'll talk more bass history. I love your knowledge. I love your knowledge, Craig.
I'm all in.
All right, cool. Give it up again, Craig Lamb. Have a great night, Craig. Take care. See you, buddy. That's pretty cool, Woo, huh? Craig showed up?
I mean,
wasn't it? Uh-oh, we lost Woo. I don't know if you can hear us, Woo, but you're muted. Uh-oh.
Might have hit the mute button on your phone now.
Okay. He dumped it. He dumped it in there now. We'll be back. We'll get him back.
I gotta talk more details about that tournament.
Yeah, I thought
there he is.
Hey, there's Woo. Can you hear us, Woo? Oh, he's got it muted.
Yeah, his mic is muted.
I thought that was pretty cool though, how Bass acknowledged the changing of the lake.
Yeah,
how hip they are on the whole conservation deal in the ability, you know, to pick.
Yeah.
You know, right now they're doing an amazing job of picking different fisheries, you know, as they change and develop.
So yeah, and I hope I hope they come back here at some point.
I don't know.
I mean,
we got to tell Eric Lopez.
I know that it didn't go that well fishing wise, but it would be so much better.
It was horrible weather,
and it was also all the restrictions they put on that tournament too. Yeah, I mean that was a huge factor. They weren't allowing them to cast at any moored boat at all. They weren't letting them fish any docks in any marinas, and there were certain stretches of seawalls they couldn't fish, and then you get a little stretch.
I know it was very confusing.
And they cut off Indiana waters too, which there's a lot of fish down the Indiana shoreline.
I was out
if
there
that
that
had
day
been
in
opened
Indiana.
up, it's a whole different tournament. But it was pretty restricted, and I think if they did it now, I don't think they'd have all those restrictions. It wasn't, there weren't that many people fishing there at the time, so they weren't used to it. But now there's bass boats out there all the time fishing around docks and stuff. So I think it would go a lot better.
The census, the consensus is, I know we're trying to get Woo back now, that the smallmouth kind of showed up about what, 95, 96?
That's what I'm hearing, but
Okay.
I've heard reports of people like catching random big ones in the 80s. I mean, there were from what I heard, there would be a random one caught around harbors, inside harbors, like in the 80s, and no one would ever believe it. If you caught one, you'd have to get a picture for someone to believe it. But then
no picture, no fish.
Right. But then when the zebra mussels got in, started cleaning the water up a little bit, that's when it started taking off, and that's mid 90s into the late 90s, and that's when tournaments started happening out there. And if we had Ed Bone on here, he might say it was 1975, but I don't know. From everyone I talked to that was fishing out there at that time, they all say 96, 97. That's when it was really starting to catch some smallmouth out there. And the tournaments in the late 90s were taking 14, 16 pounds to win. So the size wasn't really up. And that's kind of what we saw in that classic too. That was midsummer, but it's really grown since then. I mean, now
100%.
It's not uncommon to see, if it's a 5-fish limit, 22, 23 pounds. I mean, it happens in the spring and the fall all the time.
And I had told you earlier, I was gone during this. I lived in Florida.
You were down in Florida.
Yeah. I never told Andy, our producer, I lived in Boca Raton, Florida.
Oh, you lived in
Boca?
Boca
I lived in
Raton?
Boca. But 1989 to 2000, I didn't know what was going on here as far as the bassin scene. Everything was still bucket heads to me, as far as I knew.
Yeah.
But I started fishing the tournaments again in 2000 when I came back, and I know that there was like tournaments galore on the big lake and on the Cal Sag.
Oh yeah,
we saw the metamorphosis of the Cal Sag as well, but it took about an additional almost 20 years, bud. I mean, 19 years until that fishery started to change. It used to be, 5 fish at 12 inches would win the deal for you.
Right. Well, so
we have you back, Woo? Oh shoot, we got Woo again, but still muted.
You got to hit that mute button, the little microphone button on your screen. You just got you muted.
Oh, there's Mrs. Dave's.
There we go.
There's
got you
Woo. Are you back?
He's back.
Yeah, that's why.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's back. Yes. Hey, that was pretty cool that Craig showed up, huh?
I thought it was very interesting. I've known him since day one when he started with bass, and he's always been just a great guy. Always nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I hope he hangs around a while. I hope I get to see him for 3 more years.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, 100%. We got to ask you a little more about that Chicago Classic. Now, you said you had a horrible practice. Well,
what happened? I went to down and up that river, where most of the guys fished in.
Yep,
the Cal Sag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I found 4 places offshore, and that I had caught a couple fish. And so the last day I was there, I went out to where I won, and I caught 2 smallmouth that might have been 12 inches long.
Okay. Yeah.
But what was happening? The smallmouth were bedding when we were practicing.
Oh wow!
Well, it was a 30-day off limits. I said, well, they're going to be through bed and they're going to move out, to the drop-offs and rock piles or whatever. they're not going to stay up there on the bank. And a lot of the guys practice on the bank because I would see them. And I just went around and tried to find some rock piles and stuff, even though there weren't no fish on them.
Okay.
And then I got a kidney stone.
Uh-oh.
And I started home when I got to Pittsburgh, and my alternator went out. And it was on a Sunday. And I went into one of the auto parts stores and got one and had to buy a tool kit and go out and change that alternator and still drive home with that kidney stone. And I went in the hospital 5 times with it. 4 times they tried to bust it, and it was big as round as the end of my little finger, shaped like an arrowhead.
Yikes.
And so they finally had to go in and get it out. And luckily I was all right in time to go back and fish the Classic. But
yeah,
that was a miserable trip. But it was tough. You know, it was
That
tough
was your
fishing.
To say the least, yeah.
I know you mentioned earlier they wouldn't let us go to Indiana. They wouldn't let us go in a couple of the marinas you could fish in, but not all of them. They had a few because I know Shaw fished in there and couple marinas. But I think what helped me, I had like 9 pounds the first day.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got 5 fish, I moved from that area and tried to find something. The first morning I got there, I fished all the way down that section and didn't get a bite with 10-pound test. Then I went back to 8-pound test. Made another pass. It was just taking 30, 40 minutes. The third time I went back with 6-pound test, and I caught 2 on that pass.
Oh.
And then I caught 3 more. The first 2 wasn't 1.5 pound fish, and the other 3, I guess, were 2, 2.5, because it come up to like 9-1. Well, Carl Maxfield came in with 10, 1 or 2 and was leading. You know, so I wasn't but a pound back, but I didn't know what was there. So the second day I go back and I catch one on the first cast. I said, all right. And then I went a little while and caught another one. And then I caught 3 little keepers. I mean, just little keepers. And I said, I got to get rid of them. Well, that was really the only time that the wind really died out. It got flat that evening. And I pulled over to that wall and started down it, looking down to see what I could see on the bottom, because you could see 10, 12 foot of water. And I saw 3 rock piles along there. Well, as I'm going down through there, I'm making long casts with it, zoom tube, and I catch one, a good one. Then I catch another good one, a little while, and then right before I got to the end, I was reeling it in real fast to make another cast, and I looked, and there was one right behind it, and I just killed it and let it go to the bottom. And when I eased up, it was tight, and I got him, and I thought I had about 11 pounds, but I actually had right at 15.
Nice.
But and then the third day, I didn't catch but 4 that weighed 6 something, and I lost one really 3.5 pound one. And I'm just sitting there holding, and he spit the tube out.
Oh.
And I said, I turned around to Steve Price. I don't know if y'all know Steve. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Another great guy.
He
I said, there goes another classic.
Yeah, I remember when you lost that. It's on film, I think.
Oh, yeah, it's on the show.
Yeah.
But I turned around and I looked up at the sky, and the sky just opened up for like 45 seconds, and the sun shining through. And then it closed right back up. And I turned around to Steve. I said, I didn't need that fish. He said, "What do you mean you didn't need that fish?" I said, "I'm gonna win the classic."
Wow.
He said, "But you ain't got but 4 fish." Oh, I said, "I know, but
I can see Steve saying that.
you know, I feel like I'm gonna win the classic." And we come in, and the way they did it was, one boat would come in on the right, second boat left, third boat, fourth boat. Half of them always went around the left side of the stage, and half of them went around the right side. And then they would wait a guy on the left, and then they'd wait a guy on the right. Well, I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to think of the boy that finished second, Mark. He was
Mark
from
Ritz.
California. Yeah,
Yep,
from
Mark Ritz.
And he came up to the stage, and the girl from the Sun paper was there asking me, "How's it feel to win the classic?" I said, "Well, I can't tell you yet because I haven't weighed in." And she said, "Yeah, but how does it feel knowing you won the classic?" I said, "Right now it feels like the time I lost by 6 ounces, the time I lost by 15 ounces, the time I lost by 1.3 ounces, and the time I lost by 1.13 ounces." I said, "It's tight, and I got to see what he's got." Well, he pulls up there, and of course Hank Parker's helping Ray and
Fishburne.
Dewey, and he goes over and look. He's got 5 good ones in there. I'm saying, "Uh-oh." Well, I had him by about 6, 7 pounds going into the last day, and I had 6'3" or 6'1", I can't remember. And so I knew he was going to have about 12 pounds to win. So he pulls the first one out. Hank says, "That's a good one." He pulls another one out. "That's another good one, another good one, another good one." He did that 4 times. I say, "Well, they always pull the big one out last." He said, but he didn't say nothing exciting. He just said, "That's another good one." I said, "Oh, Lord." They got up there and they said, I think he had 10-1 or something. So it was like a relief came over me.
Yes.
I'd been so close so many times, and I was in the top 5. I know 5 times that I can remember. And that was all close. With one fish would have won any of them. And like the one Guido won, he ran out of fish, and Dion didn't catch a fish the first day, and he caught a decent stringer the second day. So he told his dad to go over there and fish. He wasn't going back.
Right.
And just stuff like that. And then the one Hank Parker won, I led a couple of days, and the first stop I had 3 fish that weighed 9 pounds, which was big on the river back then. And I was catching 75 to 80 a day on my milk run.
Okay.
And I started out the creek, and the motor blew in the middle of the river.
Yikes.
And they didn't get me another boat till 1:30, and I had about 30 minutes to fish because I was an hour away almost from the weigh-in. And I never got that 5th fish, but I didn't
That
get
was
the
the
fish.
Parker Classic, you said, Woo?
The one
89?
Hank Parker won.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And then Rick Clun blew kind of, I think I was 5th in that one, or 3rd, I can't remember, but he hit a little stretch. It was holding good fish, and the water went way out, way farther out than normal, and there was 3 or 4 trees in that area in the water. And those fish were hanging on the ends of them.
Sounds clunny.
But, but
he was throwing some kind of bait with treble hooks.
Yeah, probably.
I am the oldest guy to win the classic by 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was 55.
That's awesome.
And then the next 2 years later, I won on the Hudson, and the next year I won on the Hudson again. I fished on one end of the river. One time, my son was in like third or fourth place for Angler of the Year and trying to make the Classic. And I went and practiced with him after we finished Thousand Islands. It was going to be another month and a half before we went there. And I found some fish in that Wappinger Creek, and I told him about it because we just practiced one day. And he went up the river. So the first day of practice, he goes down there to that. I tell him, go down to that creek and fish. Well, he didn't like it. He come back. So we went upriver and found fish, and I showed him everywhere I caught one and so on and so forth. And I said, I'm just going to go down that creek. The first day, I got 7 pounds, and I'm in 35th place. And then the next day, I catch 15 pounds, and I move up to 5th place. And then the last day, I caught like a 10-1 or something total. And the guy leading it had 32 pounds after 2 days. He had 16 pounds each day, and we went out to eat that night. And he said, you're going in that Wappinger Creek, aren't you? I see you turn in there every morning. I said, yeah. He said, I'm fishing about a couple miles down. He said, I've had a limit both days and first hour. Well, I'm thinking he's going to win, you know. So I go in there and I catch 4 fish all day. And then I had to pull the drain plug, fill the water up with boat, go under the bridge because the tide came up real high and the wind was blowing it in. And get all that out. So I got back up there to the weigh-in, and there's one bridge off to the right over a flat over there. And I had caught a bass in the first bass tournament we ever fished up there. Under that bridge on it was about a 16-foot 2x8 hanging off a cable in the water.
Okay.
And it'd been like 15 years probably since we fished there. And I had just enough time to go idle over there. I could run halfway and had to idle about 2 or 3 minutes, and I could fish that bridge before it came in. And I broke 4 spinnerbaits off in the piling. And I got down to the end of the bridge, and there's that same board still hanging there. And I pitch a Zoom 4-inch worm over there. Raise up, set the hook, wind it in, flip it. It comes off, lands in the boat. It's like a pound, 3 or 4 ounce smallmouth. So I had 14. I weighed in 14 largemouth and 1 smallmouth for 3 days. Well, the next year we go back. I go down there, and there's 40 boats in there when it's about big enough for 3.
Oh, Lord.
4, you know, little creek. So I go up the river as far as I could go and started fishing back, and I hit a stretch of grass that had some fish in it. I didn't get but a couple bites, so I said, I'm going to start there. Well, I got about 7 pounds the first day. I'm in 35th. I catch right at 15 the second day. I go up to 5th again. The last day, I only caught 4 fish, I think, in that one. But one of them was a 4-pounder, and that was like a 10-pounder in Florida.
Okay.
Up there. And I think I had 8 pounds the last day, and I ended up winning that one. Which
nice.
Heck yeah. The plan came together, Woo.
Whoa, I gotta shift us back to Chicago here for a minute. One thing I've always wondered is when you were that whole tournament, all they talked about on the broadcast that they did was how the wind blew every day and it was blowing everyone off the lake, and everybody went up Calumet River and into Lake Calumet. But you were fishing downtown on the walls.
Yeah, on Woo's Wall, the
on
Great
Woo's
Wall of
Woo. Do you know that everybody calls that wall Woo's Wall now?
Great Wall.
Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Well,
I fish it 4 or
I'm
5
gonna
days a
tell
week.
you,
It's woos wall, inner woos and outer woos.
the last day, it was so rough
Mm-hmm.
that they took pictures of me, the camera boat. You know, they'll sit behind you when you're fishing something like that.
Yeah.
And it looks like I'm waist deep in water.
Right.
You can't even
right.
see the boat. You can't see the boat. And the next time I'm up on top of one of them waves. And then when you'd fall down in the hole, it looked like I was standing in the water.
Right.
You know, all you could see was waist up. I mean, it was rough.
Was there did you have any company in that area? Did you have anybody else fishing?
Not till the last day, and Skeet Reese came over there and fished the outside of the wall.
Oh, really? He waited till the last day and came and fished by you?
Yeah.
Oh, Skeet.
Shocking. Right.
Was that back in the times of 18-foot Rangers too? Was that like 150?
I think it was. I believe we did have a 150 on that year.
I think they were 18
foot
150s.
Because Ranger was still providing a classic boat at that time, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that the biggest waves you had ever fished a derby in, Woo?
Second biggest.
Second biggest.
First one was up at Thousand Island.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
I mean, because it's got 500 miles to blow across there, and it was blowing right into the mouth of the river.
Different kind of waves, though, right? More of a bathtub in Chicago.
Those waves were so big, when you went down in them, you could open up and run a mile wide open. Then you had to go up the wave and work over 3 or 4 waves to get away from the bank. Because that's what happens to a lot of people up there. That water drops down and they hit a rock. And, but what would happen, you'd come up on that wave and you'd see 10 boats. You know, one over here, one over there, one up ahead of you back. And then you drop down in that hole, you wouldn't see the bank, you wouldn't see anything. I mean, it was surfing.
Wow.
Big time surfing waves. But it was rough out there too, and luckily we didn't have to go too far to get back to the weigh-in, probably about 3 or 4 miles.
Oh yeah.
And we were going with the waves, I think. It seemed like I remember.
Yeah, when you're coming back, it was blowing north, I think, when you guys were out there. And then
now, what was the weight? Was it 20? What do you have? 27 pounds, Woo? 27 something, right?
27.13.
Yeah.
And so check this out. So if
we're just 6 pounds on the last day.
If we're doing the math right, the first BASS Derb was 73, right? That you fished, and then 27 years later is the 2000 Classic, and you won with 27 pounds and some change.
The first Classic I fished was 1975.
Okay.
And I made 17, I believe.
All right, we'll take that. We'll take that to the bank.
Fishing 17, and
it
was funny. Bill Norman was one of my sponsors back in the day, and we went to 4 shows, and that was the only tournament he fished, and he beat me by 1 ounce, knocked me out of the Classic. And that's back when it didn't take but 25, and I ended up 26, and then another one. And my buddy Greg South, I don't think y'all remember him. He finished second to Clun when he won in the Arkansas River.
Okay.
You would remember he had like 75 pounds or something right down from the ramp, cranking a Fire Tiger Model A.
Yeah.
And my buddy had 54 pounds, I think.
Nice.
But we were good pals, and we went to Fish Lake Gas, and same thing. He beat me by 1 ounce. Knocked me out of another Classic.
Will, in this Chicago Classic, did you catch? I mean, I know the coverage wasn't what it is now, so all we have is like a 44-minute edit of that Classic. But did you catch every fish on a tube?
Yeah, I
every
caught them
fish in
all
that
on
whole
the
tournament.
tube.
All on 6-pound tests, 6-pound mono.
Yep. I had 100-yard spool, and I took half of it on one reel, and then that night when I came in, I put the other half on another reel, so I'd have 2 rods. But I just used a regular old green pumpkin tube with about an 1/8 to a quarter, depending on the wind. When it got, the one time it went down for a couple hours, I used a real light head, probably a 1/16 ounce. And then as it started getting up, I had to go to even up to a quarter sometimes.
Gotcha.
Because, I mean, it was blowing like crazy.
That's Chicago.
What I can't figure out is how everybody went. I mean, from you guys took off at Burnham Harbor, and they're talking about how rough it was, yet everybody ran down to the Cal Sag. That's not a short run. From Burnham Harbor to get to the Cal Sag, to get to the Calumet River, that's not a short run. That's
I forgot about the
14 miles, I think, 15 miles.
forgot
But
to
you're
tell
making
you.
a 4-mile run. That's why I'm wondering why more people didn't go in your direction instead of run away down to go fish in the river.
Yeah, they made a run.
Seems crazy.
They made a run.
Well, I forgot to tell you a while ago, but the reason I went there on my day of practice.
Uh-huh.
Because we only got one day to practice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, back then. You had one
Wow.
practice day.
Wow.
So I went back there, and there was a boat sitting on all 4 of them rock piles I found.
Okay.
And I said, well, there ain't no need for me to come here. Because you're just going to be sharing fish around, you know.
Oh, you thought it was a community hole.
Yeah, well, they had found, they were just good enough fishermen. They found the same thing I did, I reckon. And so that's when I told my wife I'm going to go for the smallmouth, where I caught them 2 little ones and hoped that they had moved out there. I hadn't been back over there.
Yeah.
And it seems like the tougher tournaments have been my better ones.
Yeah, the tough practice. You can't win in practice, right, Woo?
Yeah,
you can't win in practice. Hey,
But
let's get a couple viewer questions in. What do you say?
Do it.
I like this one right here from Bobby Colson. You're going to like this one, Woo. Bobby wants to know, what are the best rabbit dogs?
The ones in my pen out here.
What do you got? What do you got?
I got blue ticks. I've got everything. I've got big ones, fat ones, short ones, skinny ones, long ones, tall ones, but they all run about the same. You know.
Okay, that's awesome. So
they do a pretty good job. I usually average about 180 to 280 every year.
Wow.
This past year was a little bit off because we had lost 2 weeks because of snow, and we lost time because of rain and everything else. And then most of the guys that hunt with me are old as I am, and they can't hit nothing much like me. Yeah.
This question's from Matt Robertson. You might know him, Matt Robertson.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to know, who's a better shot, you or Jacob Porosnik?
I would have to say definitely Jacob.
Really? Okay.
Back in the day, now if I was his age, I could probably hang in there with him, but he does pretty good with them ducks and stuff. You know, he gets a lot of practice in.
Now we're getting a lot of questions. He is good. He's just an all-around outdoorsman. That's for sure, old J Pal.
He's just like Matt. He's both outdoorsmen.
Yep, 100%,
You
man.
know.
You know, they born there. I know Matt once chased down a big buck with a screwdriver. He did. He did. That's a true story. Hey, so a lot of the viewers are under the impression that you won this classic on the Zebco push button, but that's not the case of this event. That was a different event.
I won that on the Illinois River.
Correct. Okay, that was the other in Alton.
Not the Illinois River, but the Mississippi River in Illinois.
In Alton. Yep. Yeah. And what? How did you do that? Was that just thick mono on there on the big size?
Yeah. Well, what I did, I was flipping with a flipping stick, and when you flip a worm on a flipping stick, it goes out and it lands flat.
Okay.
On the grass.
Mm-hmm.
So about 6 out of 10 casts, or 7 out of 10, your worm wouldn't go down.
Okay.
It would hang
Makes
up
sense.
and you'd have to shake it. And they wouldn't touch it if you had to shake it. It had to
Okay.
drop down. Well, I went to the Zebco trailer and got me another flipping stick and sawed the trigger guard off of it and put a couple bigger eyes on it and put the 808 on there with 20-pound test. And I could, when I flipped in, you know, the worm would go up, but it would free fall straight down.
Gotcha.
You understand? Because there's
Yes.
like when you're flipping, you're trying to keep your thumb on the reel and make a nice little entry. Where I was probably, the worm was 3 feet in the air when it got over the grass, and then it would fall straight down. So I was getting 7 out of 10 to go down, and they would have it before it hit bottom in 3 foot, 2.5 foot of water.
So that's why he did.
Wow.
But they would not touch it if you shook the grass. I mean, I had Paul Lice with me one day, and he's as good a fisherman as there was, and a great flipper. And he made some pretty flips, but his worm would always land, and then he'd shake it and let it go down.
And he
They
got
wouldn't
out
touch it.
Zeb code. And that's the
Yeah.
legend of Woo and the Zebco right there. I
Yeah.
love it. Hey,
That's
Bass
awesome.
Galaxy, check it out. We have another surprise guest here. It is the one and only South Shore Bass Open champions, father and son team. It's Scott and Tyler Christy. Bring aboard the Christies. Yes, what's going on, gentlemen?
What's up, boys?
What's going on, guys?
Mr.
up,
Davis, an honor to speak to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not worried
Sound
about
like
them
y'all
other two
doing-
guys.
Sound like y'all doing pretty good out there. Congratulations
one.
on that win.
Thank
So
you,
they
sir.
won.
I'm glad. I like to see dads fish with his son.
Heck yeah.
Well,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
kind of his net guy most of the time anymore.
Hey, I fish with my son. It's the same thing, but I did whack him on a couple big ones this year.
He listens every now and then, but you know.
Behind him.
Well, he listened enough, and you both listened to each other enough to bring home the victory in the second largest Chicago bass fishing event since the Classic, and that's
As far as we know.
as far as the South Shore Bass Open, put on by the South Shore and the beautiful Horseshoe Casino and Hammond Port Authority, and these guys, father and son team, the Christies. You did it, bud. 2 days victorious, and congratulations.
Wow, I appreciate that, Pat. Thank you. The difficult.
Was that
2 days.
smallmouth?
Yep.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and just to
right.
put it into perspective, Woo, I mean, when you guys were there, it was just getting going in Chicago. And now, you know, this tournament that these guys won, this was in August this year, early August, which is the toughest time of year on the south end of Lake Michigan. And they had a day one total of 1388, which put them, where were you guys sitting day one?
14th day one.
14th.
14th, day
Okay.
one.
Wow.
Day two, they come in with 1976.
Ah, yeah.
And, kind of blew it out. But I mean, this is as tough as it ever gets down there. I mean, the conditions were bad. We had bad north winds for 3 days before the tournament, and they're dropping 1976. And there was another 19-pound bag in this tournament as well on day one. And it's just come along. There's just a lot more fish. It's really getting better.
And when Scott,
Woo, it'd blow your mind to come back and fish it again, and just to see how things have changed and how this lake's progressed, and in 20 years with the zebra mussels and the gobies and technology, and mapping. It's an amazing fishery, man. It really is.
Yep. Correct me if I'm wrong, Scott and Tyler. When you guys are fishing the solo tournament, and it's a 3-fish limit in the spring, it's 15 pounds.
15
you have to have
pounds.
15 pounds, Woo.
Yeah.
With 3 fish. Okay. That's where this has come. Whoop, we lost Woo.
Lost you.
Woo, you got to hit your unmute again.
I think you muted your phone again.
How in the world is that happening?
There we go. We got
Now
you.
we're back.
We got you. We got you.
I don't know what I'm doing, but
We can hear you
I
now.
apologize, but
No, you're doing
Mines is
fine.
like that. When we started fishing up there, I mean, Forrest Wood, when his only tournament up there, I think, with like 35 pounds of smallmouth. And nobody fished for smallmouth. Everybody stayed in the river and bass fit, for largemouth. And you could catch big stringers of largemouth back then, 24, 25 pounds. It was hard to do it 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
But now they catch, 25 pounds a day won't even get you in the top 5.
It's crazy.
A lot of times.
Yeah. Crazy.
And that's come from the gobies and the zebra mussels coming in.
100%.
Yep.
And that's probably what's happening over there. The gobies moved in, and they got to have bait to grow. And that's the main thing, I think.
There is a plethora of bait.
Yeah.
In Lake Michigan.
There's a lot of bait. It's not always in, but there is a lot of bait. It's a lot of it spends a lot of the time out in the middle of the lake in 200 feet of water, but it comes in the fall and it's around throughout the winter too and around the spring.
It's fertile. It's fertile.
But the great thing, and my theory on this is that the Great Lakes are the only fisheries in our country that are consistently getting better year to year, because they're still feeling the effects of the zebra mussels and the gobies. It's still evolving.
I'll agree with that 100%.
Still getting better.
I'll agree with that, Ryan. I grew up in Northeast Ohio, and we grew up fishing Lake Erie. So that's where I kind of get a little bit of affliction to go fish Lake Michigan all the time, because I grew up doing that as a kid, only on Lake Erie. And you're 100% correct. I've watched Lake Erie evolve from the 80s into the 90s. My brothers and all, I've been out here for years, but my brothers and those guys still fish it. And you're spot on, man. The zebra mussels, everybody thought was going to be the worst thing in the world, but in hindsight, it's probably for sport fishermen, it's probably been the best thing in the world
for bass fishing.
The only thing it was bad for,
it hurt the smell.
Was Woo's 6-pound test line, but it
did. Hey, that's still bad for everybody's line right now.
but he persevered over that. Hey, Scott and Tyler, tell us a little bit how you won this derp. What was the deal going on here? Give it away, and don't.
Yeah, we're gonna need bait, size, color, line size.
You want me to go get the graph off the boat? I'll just bring it in.
Show Woo the dots, would you? Show Woo your dots.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can't give up too much. We got to run this thing back next year. Try to defend
That's right.
Yeah, it's gotta be different. You know that.
But no, this place. Just talk. First of all, I just want to say how cool the format of this kind of worked out of this podcast. Hearing we were going to go on with Woo was just incredible. Growing up as like a kid from Chicago who's got an affinity for bass fishing, all we really had to stick to in Chicago is that 2000 Bassmaster Classic. So I had watched that plenty of times growing up. But either way, I just think that is the coolest thing. But like it's been said before, like the Great Lakes are fantastic, and what we have down here in Chicago, it may not be Sturgeon Bay, it may not be Grand Traverse when it comes to Lake Michigan fishing, but we got a lot of fish and we got some big fish. This tournament, Ryan kind of mentioned it earlier. Conditions weren't the best. You went out there 3 days before the tournament, it blew hard out of the north, and it did the same thing last year to us, which I think over the next few years of this tournament, we're going to be graced with some better weather pre-tournament and, get some good south winds. It's going to fish even better, but it definitely made it tough. It scattered some of those fish. But we weren't doing anything too different than what it looked like everybody else was doing. A lot of offshore fishing, there's offshore structure all over out on our end of the lake. You got rock piles, you got sand drops, but there's a lot of fish shallow too. So I don't want to give away obviously too much of what we did, but it was pretty standard smallmouth fishing. Electronics played a huge role for us. We spent a lot of the time earlier this summer just graphing around, using our mapping, finding good offshore structure, and it was really just your typical baits. Drop shot around a bunch. That Berkeley Max Send, it's special when it comes to smallmouth. I don't know if there's bait out there than a Berkeley Max Send. Flatworm.
It is a cheat code.
Yeah, absolutely, it is. But it was really, dialing stuff in with our electronics, figuring out where these fish were in the weeks leading up to the tournament, and kind of sticking to our guns and running, our milk run of where we thought the biggest fish were and the most fish were with a drop shot, a tube, and shaking a minnow a little bit too. So,
did you throw any dice at them, Scotty?
Yes. Well, the only bad thing to me about fishing up there, Thousand Islands, over in Ohio, when that wind blows, it is as tough as it gets.
No,
100%.
You
100%.
know, trying to stand up, fish, and that stuff, and
Yeah.
getting to point A and getting back.
That's the
can
hardest
really
part.
Be tough too.
Yeah, that's the challenge.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. A lot of the time.
Yeah, that's the hardest part.
Yeah, hope to get back alive.
And Woo was fearless back then. Let's face it.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point of your career, you gave 0 Fs. Pardon my French.
Oh
And
yeah.
I mean, you're riding the wave like Jeff Spicoli. You know.
Yeah,
Hey, bro,
and Ty's kind of touched on it with the win. You know, so here I'd love to talk about this event because I'll be honest with you guys, I love this event. I mean, you guys know me, Pat, you know me, Ryan, you know me, but you don't know me, but you know, we're bass fishing junkies. I mean, that's what we do. Ty fished all through college. We fished all through high school. I've run a trail. I'm now the division director for Bass Nation for the youth for the high school on the north end, North Division up here. And we do a lot. And when Dennis put this on the first year, I was excited, and selfishly a little bit because myself and Ty have spent, and it's not just myself and Ty. It's like Ryan Ski Juski, right?
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's awesome. We spent a lot of time for the last 3 or 4 summers fishing summertime smallmouth on Lake Michigan. And the one thing about this lake is, and Ryan, you know this, it's a killer fishery in the spring, pre-spawn, spawn, and then it kind of gets left alone, right? And we spent a lot of time out there. I mean, when I say time, I'm talking weeks, days of maybe not even picking up a rod, just sitting behind a graph, looking at stuff and idling with the radio on and turning around and stand up and make a cast or two. So, you know, between the 3 of us, we put a lot of time in out there. So when Dennis put this tournament on, I called him up and said, man, this is good.
And this is Dennis Bannock, for those that don't know.
Dennis Bannock. And Selfish and JP and all the guys that put this on. You know,
we had a big group. Pat, myself, Pat. We had probably 10 people that went to the first meeting. Dave Figley too was a huge part of this.
Yeah, Dave was a big
there was a big group of us, and we all said, "Dennis is the smartest guy from our group."
Yeah,
we'll let him
we
talk.
elected Dennis.
We'll let him talk. Yeah.
You know. And
anyways, go on.
Yeah. So you know, we've been lucky to travel a lot with him in college, and we've seen the big stage on Bass, and you know, fish the high school classic. He's make up brackets, and we've seen it all. Yeah. And when Dennis brought this to Chicago, I said, man, this is really cool. Like all us local guys or all the local guys are going to get a chance to see what a weekend event put on really looks like. And, you know, Horseshoe rolls out the red carpet. So all you guys who've never fished this because you think, oh, I can't win it because I'm not a big lake guy. Just so you know, the first year we all got thumped by Lake Cal and we got thumped by some largemouth guys.
Yeah. Yes.
And I will tell you, nothing scares the 2 of us more every Saturday morning of that tournament that is Lake Cal going to go off today.
Yeah, with
those guys caught 17 pounds the second day. So.
That's what I'm saying. So
you never know. They're fishing by Woo. So I can let you know what they're talking about. So there's Lake Calumet, as you know, as you practiced in the river and in the lake. And the guys that won it last year were by Clun's spot. Remember where Clun was in that area?
Yeah.
And Mark Riggs.
Yeah, and
and
Aaron Martin. That
the other guy.
That's that Brian Jackson. The whole area over there. So that's what he's referring to right there.
Yeah.
It's a dynamic tournament.
Yeah.
Dynamic tournament. I mean, the casino rolls out the red carpet. We get treated like.
Hold on a second. I got an idea. Yeah. I'm an idea man. I feed the mayonnaise to the tuna fish a lot, and it saves time making sandwiches. But this is an even better idea. So Woo Dave's next year, how about we bring you to Chicago and you fish in the South Shore Bass Open with Ryan Whitaker? Sorry, Ross Tornabini, but let's what do you think, Woo? It's the first weekend in August.
I don't think it'll conflict with anything. You let me know, I'll try and get there.
We'll make it happen. It's the first weekend in August, and we have some mutual advertiser sponsors. I think we can make this happen.
I can't think of anybody better to be there.
Yeah, that's your partner, Ryan.
Stacking teams already, Pat.
Look, I'm already stacking. I'm already stacking them, boys, for next year. I got a ringer, Woo Dave's.
Yeah.
Oh,
After
so
that tournament, you'll be saying, "Who is Woo?"
nobody will ever say that. Not
They're
here.
not booing. They're saying woo. That's what
We'll have to have double red carpets if you come.
Yeah,
for sure.
Stack 'em.
But
You know,
yeah, at Christie's, I mean, you guys rocked it. You guys did.
yeah, I mean, it wasn't. Listen, it's not an easy tournament. I mean, let's be honest here. And I'll be straight up. I mean, I fish against you guys in the spring. It is a bag of hammers in this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mallets.
Yeah, and you got to bring it every day. And we spent a lot of time practicing for this one, and we probably start practicing in literally in June for this. When them fish get off the beds and start moving out, we're chasing them. Where are they going? What are they doing? Where are they setting up? We spent a lot of time out there all summer just for this event.
That's awesome.
And then every year we get a big blow 3 days before, and that just shatters everything you knew.
For Woo. Yes, just like it did for the Bassmaster.
Warm water cocktail
in 2000.
Yeah, and you guys really did. I mean, I remember you guys telling me that you had 0 at noon the second day. You said
that is a true statement. Saturday,
I believe it.
Saturday we got contained a little bit just because of what was going on out there, and knowing even if we could run to those spots, we couldn't set up on them right, and we couldn't fish them right. So it wasn't worth spending an hour to beat our brains out to get somewhere to not even be able to set up and fish them right. So we literally hit the scramble button Saturday.
Yeah.
Like that 14 pounds or 1388, whatever we had, that was scrapping up fish.
Right.
Just because we knew if we could get to Sunday, the wake was going to lay down, we'd have a shot at something. And a true statement, Sunday at 11.
Lay down that much.
No, it didn't. That's a fact, but it laid down enough. Sunday at 11:40, there wasn't even water in my live wells.
Wow. Yikes.
Tuesday.
Nerve-wracking. You felt like Woo Gaves when he thought he lost the classic and he said to Steve Price, "There goes another classic." But he still won, and so did you. 100%.
It was definitely tough that second day. And I think it was one of those things. It was like mentally tough to overcome. I mean, like we've kind of said, put a ton of work in out there. Had a relatively tougher Saturday. Obviously, the wind didn't help. It was a washing machine out there. But day 2, we thought we'd be a little better off. And when you're sitting there at 11 o'clock going, man, what went wrong? What's going wrong right now? We put so much time in. I'm not sure what's happening. And we I don't know. I've done this for years now, fishing the college series, and I've been in a lot of those tournaments where I've
two-time bracket qualifier. In fact, you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the one thing that I just kind of learned you got to push through that in these derbies. You might not have a fish at noon. You might be doing it too, but I mean, it doesn't take but 20 minutes to put a limit in the boat. So we kind of just stayed mentally strong. And there was definitely some points that day where we looked at each other and just both felt defeated, but we talked it over and
talked it over.
Yeah. There was
some father-son conversations in there.
Hey, Woo, they father and son talked it over, they said. You know how that goes.
There was some tensions, but ultimately we settled down, made a decision. We had essentially one spot on the graph that we were like, all right, we hadn't hit this at all this week. Like honestly hadn't hit in a little while, and we said we gotta make a run and just go there and just sit down and just fish it, because we knew there was fish there. We found them in practice. We just didn't think it would be where we would end up with the tournament. And ran out there. Like I said, we probably have 2 hours to fish. Dropped the trolling motor on the spot. I looked down at the graph, and it was lit up. It was like everything I'd been seeing when we had been practicing out there. It was the first time I'd seen it all week. I think it was a little bit of that lake laying down. And those fish were setting up a little bit better. So dropped the trolling motor.
On there.
Yeah. And I remember saying to my dad right when I dropped the trolling motor, he was still getting up from the seat. I was like, Scotty, get up. It's going to get western. We're about to catch him.
Exactly.
First cast in there, caught our first keeper of the day, and it was hot and heavy for about 30 minutes. I don't think there was a cast where there wasn't one hooked up.
Wow.
So we loaded the boat quick and kind of sat there for a second after we had our limit. And I had no idea what we had. I mean, I thought we had like 16 pounds that second day because everything was coming to the boat so fast, going right in the well. We kind of talked it over, and he was like, I think we got more than what you think. I was like, I don't know. We can sit on this for a little bit, but it was still pretty rough. So we're like, all right, let's just take our time, get in here. No use trying to stay here for too long, take a hard run back, end up, killing a fish and taking a penalty. Like, if it's going to happen, it's going to be tight. So we ended up taking a nice, easy run back in. And sure enough, we had a little bit more than I thought in the well, but they were going
more than 16.
quick. I had
Yeah,
no idea.
it worked out, didn't it? It worked out well.
76.
And again, you guys won the second annual South Shore Chicago Bass Open. Pretty
Hey,
cool.
listen, hey, like Ty said, in our defense, we literally talked that out. I had a lot of time. I mean, I spent a lot of time out there with Dave Sanders and Myers, and I know what a 21-pound bag looks like. I know what a 20-pound bag looks like. I've seen it. And I looked in that well, and I looked at him. I said, Ty, I said, that's a bag. And normally we'd weigh everything. You would weigh it. It was going down so quick that there was just no time. And I said, buddy, that's a bag.
With that many fish flying over the gunnel, you don't know what's happening.
Listen,
there.
at one point, I literally bit a drop shot off that was caught in the net to turn around and net another one that he had. I mean,
that's when you know life is good.
Yeah. Well, here's when I knew life was going to be good. And Ryan, you'll know what this looks like. If I know you know. All summer we've been having such clear water. We were having such a problem with them coming to the boat with the other fish, right?
Yeah.
And it was such a problem because they see the boat. Game's over.
Catch one, you bring the whole school.
You bring the whole school. Well, he swung on that first one, and I just happened to glance back down at scope, and I watched that one come up, and I watched about 5 beans go with it, and they just turned around and went back. And I said,
"Oh boy!"
I said, "Uh-oh, here we go."
They went back to the salad bar,
right back
to the buffet.
Said, this is going to be on. So we looked at that bag, and I said, "Hey, Ty, man," I said, "I know what's in there. I ain't going to weigh them. Are we going to win this?" And we literally looked at each other and said, "No." But we said, "That's a good bag. We'll probably cash a check on this. It's going to be a good check. What do you want to do? You want to sit here and grind it? Or do you want to go?" Because, hey, look, man, I had a lot of respect for Cody and Eden and Rosenwinkle behind him. Like, who would ever thought they weren't going to have 5, right?
Right.
Right.
I never thought that. And I said, but this will get us a check. And we just, team made the decision, lock it down. Let's take an easy ride back, not kill a fish. Let's cash a check. Let's get out of here with a good finish. And then, hey, it happened like it happened, right? Like
in the books.
In my experience, if you come in thinking you're going to win, you probably don't. So that's the right thing.
Good move right there. Good
Yeah.
move. Speaking of winning, we got some winners here tonight. Besides,
we got to give away some stuff.
Besides Woo Dave's and the Christy boys. So we have 3 prize packages tonight. One is a tin cup whiskey box of fun to your door. The other one is a South Shore Chicago Bass package. Dennis Bannock is paying the entry fee to the next year's South Shore Bass Open.
Awesome.
Pretty cool. Also with a South Shore swag bag. And then the final prize is the Woo Dave special prize. So Woo, maybe you could come up with like a bag of Zoom or something and send it out to this lucky winner. What do you think, Woo?
Oh, I can get something for him that he'll like.
All right, there we go.
No
So
problem.
are you ready?
People like speed cross.
People love speed. I'm gonna speed cross. I'm going to hey Andy, you got any drum roll? How about a drum roll or a fanfare? I have the Woo Dave's Bassmaster Classic prize. The like and share prize goes to Mr. Brad Martin. Yes, Brad Martin, you won that deal right there. Direct message J.R. Ewing at the Straycast Facebook page. Now, the Chicago South Shore Bass Package, compliments of Dennis Bannock, South Shore Open, is Joe Childs. Joe Childs, you won that deal. Right there.
Well, I don't remember that name on the tournament roster last year.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I don't remember that either.
We better see you.
Joe Childs. Okay.
I don't care how far away you are.
You're writing it down. Yeah, look that up. I wonder where Joe Childs is. That's a big package right there. That big Chicago package.
Big Chicago $450 entry fee package.
And finally, the winner of the Tin Cup box of fun to the door is Matt Wrestler. WRES Wrestler. Matt Wrestler, you won the tin. See, magic happens here on Stray Cast and everybody wins. You know what I mean? Hey, Woo Daves.
Yes,
did you have
sir.
fun? Did you have fun tonight?
I had a ball.
Awesome. I got to tell you.
Will you get that address to me?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have
Okay.
Rock Show Fantasy get that to you. Woo, I got to thank you again for all the years of happiness that you have given to all of us here in the Bass Galaxy. Whenever we have legends on this show, I got to admit, I feel like a little kid again, and I love it. I love it. And it is so cool to have you grace these airwaves of Stray Cast. So we thank you again, Woo Daves, not only for this broadcast, but the years of entertainment and goodness you have provided to us, Mr. Daves. Thank you.
Thank you, Woo.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it is our pleasure. Let's
That's
do
the
this
main
again.
thing.
Yeah, let's have another deal, and we'll try and get you out here in August 26th to fish with Captain Ryan in the event. I think
Sounds good to me.
Be pretty fun. And Scott,
just bring a spin pole.
Yeah, bring a spin
Bring
pole.
your A game, Woo.
Oh, yeah.
Bring your A game.
Yeah, you better, Woo, because Scott and Tyler, they don't want to give up that victory. You know what I mean?
No, sir.
And Scott and Tyler, you guys are awesome. It's always a pleasure to see you guys come up to the stage. You always have good things today to say, and you bring good cheer and proper bassing with you everywhere you go. We thank you for that. Bass Galaxy, give
Thanks,
it up
guys.
for Woo Daves and Scott and Tyler Christy. Yes. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much. There it is right there. It's another episode.
Chicago.
A Chicago episode. My kind
Woo.
of town. Woo. There it is. Thanks again for an amazing Woo Daves, man. How cool was that?
So cool.
Woo was loving it. He was, dude. I think Woo could have told us stories all night to the wee
Oh, yeah,
hours. To the wee hours in this harvest moon. You know what I mean?
Yep. I
right.
hope I think he's serious about coming to the tournament.
Oh, we're gonna make
I
it
think
happen.
we need to really actually make that happen.
Yeah. When you say
Yeah.
we, you mean me. I will.
I think
Yes.
you should make that happen.
That's what I think you mean. And I will. I think it'll be amazing, and you're the perfect guy to go bassing with. Speaking of perfect, thank you so much to all our amazing advertisers out there. We're pretty fortunate that we get to use and are endorsed by some of the best products in the bass fishing industry. And what's pretty cool about this whole deal is we've been at this for 10 years now, right, Ryan? 10 years, right,
Yes.
Andy? And it's the products that we advertise are the products that we've used before we even started this Stray Cast thing. And it's an honor, honestly.
Berkeley Fishing.
Yeah, I don't
Albert
even
Garcia.
I don't know anything but Tri-Line. You know what I mean? I used
Red
that
label,
Stern.
blue label. Red label, blue label.
I used Stern for a little bit, but I'm on the Tri-Line now. You know what I mean?
And then the gold.
Yeah.
Then the gold
The,
came
the
out.
Bill Dance Gold. Thank you, Omnia Fishing. Don't forget about the Premium Pro app at omniafishing.com. Sims, they keep me covered with goodness all day on the water. Bob's, I'm all jacked up. Bob's Machine Shop, Bob's Jack Plates. Impulse Lithium, don't skip a beat. Bill and Darlene Weidler, also don't forget about the Impulse Lithium Tournament Rewards Program. Power Pole, down and up for pleasure, if you know what I mean. Tin Cup Mountain Whiskey, the official brown liquor of Bassin, Berkeley and Abu Garcia. Of course, Mad Science Print Lab. And the beautiful way to throw shade is Waterland sunglasses. Oh, yeah, also Tightrope Fishing, makers of the tightrope stuff. You know what I mean? And don't forget about Chicago Bassin. What is your thing on Instagram now?
Chicago Bass Fishing.
Chicago Bass Fishing on Instagram.
ChicagoBassFishing.com.
And .com. That's Ryan Popcorn Whitaker. He's a captain, and he'll take you out to catch some smallmouth. I'm Pat Renwick. I'm the host of this whole bamboozle here, and we are off next week, but we return on October 22nd with another Andrew Ellenberger Ginger Ninja production. I bid you peace, and peace I bid you. We are gone, Bass Galaxy. Out of chat.
Jama.
Se me ha hablado,